Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Protrainy's Masterclass on Building Information Modeling, BIM. I am Pallavi, your host for today's session. Let me give you a brief introduction about who we are. Protrainy is an NSR cell and Bangalore pre-incubated edtech startup. We are registered with Startup India, Startup Odisha, and OCA. Landing skill requisite which precisely fit market demand is tougher than landing a job itself. That's where we come into a play. We prepare engineering students to become industry ready by training them for essentials required in the field. We believe that skill building is an extensive process which requires detailed and practical knowledge. With the help of our experienced experts, our only aim is to build a skilled workforce for the civil engineering industry and to create thought leaders of tomorrow. Protrainy brings to you an evolving industry-ready environment to tackle the ever-shifting business scenario. As an educational platform creator, we upskill civil engineers in technical domain as per current industry trends. From theoretical concepts like structural engineering, bridge engineering, to Oracle Primavera, ETABS, AutoCAD, we offer 360-degree holistic development required for a civil engineer to become a skilled industry professional. We recently conducted an industry-ready long-term courses on tendering, billing, Primavera, highway engineering, etc. And good results in this session has motivated us to go beyond our boundaries and get more for all of you. To be updated with our upcoming amazing courses, go and follow our Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn profile by the name Protrainy. Now, I would like to introduce our expert, Ms. Paridhi ma'am, who have joined our forces to make everyone industry ready. We welcome you, ma'am. I would now like to show an introductory video of our company.
Thank you for allowing me. Very good evening to everyone. This is Architect Paridhi, an architect and urban planner. Right now running my own company, names included Design and Planning Private Limited in remote India, and also being an industry partner with a few university and organization to make the students or to the professional to understand the need or helpful software tool is all about. So in the today's session, which is a Revit architecture and BIM introductory session is today here. And for that, I'm going to be sharing my screen to all of you and giving an introductory presentation to all of you guys. Here, I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am, your screen is also visible and you are also audible.
Thank you. So first of all, the Revit software is introduced by the Autodesk, but why? So initially, the Revit is not the first software which is introduced by the Autodesk. It's initially started with the AutoCAD, which is of course the CAD names come in your mind, and of course starting thinking about the 2D dimension thing, the drafting tool, and all together. Of course, it's contain a 3D, but not in a proper manner. Along with that, afterward, to improvise the 3D modeling, Autodesk introduced us the 3ds Max. And with the having in the 3ds Max, some of the kind of objectives, some of the 3D analysis, some 3D drawing, rendering, everything is allowed there. But in the collaboration of the both the software, we having the software names Revit, Architecture, and BIM. So Revit is basically a purpose-built tool for creating a product, documents, and necessary for the building to be built. So of course, we do designing for the building is started to be built, but is here with the using a BIM, we also ready to analysis the building. On the kind of analysis, we're going to be moving forward with the presentation and analyze that. So when we are AutoCAD, actually, when everybody maybe worked on the AutoCAD, so that's why I'm comparing it with. So AutoCAD is worked in a line form. It's just having a line, maybe rectangles, some kind of a shapes. So these lines are not very creative. When we come to the Revit, it's actually work in the forms, building forms. And for an example, you can maybe tell us about, maybe their forms are walls, when eventually on the professional also names as a wall. Windows are windows there, cavity walls are cavity walls there. So different kind of a set, not you need to draw any line or something, is directly you can work on the smart geometry of it, not in the vector form like the AutoCAD do. Because the Revit having the smart geometry, of course, so Revit is kind of a mimic a real life of the elements. Just I give you the example like walls, doors, window, everything. So when we are working on the Revit is one software, of course. But for an example, if you're working as an engineer, architect, or a designer for a project, so you started doing your designing in AutoCAD, of course, by making the understand, by making the plan and something, and then you started making that reflection on maybe the calculation part you wanted to do. So you started making that calculation on the calculator, or any kind of a manual calculator you use for that. For any kind of a structure designing, you may using a State Pro or different kind of other software for that. And of course, for the tax or any estimation you wanted to prepare, so for that you need a Microsoft Excel. And of course, for the 3D are different. So there is a bunch of a software for a one project you are using all together here. But for the Revit is a design software especially just to give you not only the architectural design perspective, just to design architecture building, your interior or landscape, but along with MEP. And what is MEP is a mechanical, electrical, and the plumbing drawing as well. So that services drawings is allowed you to think professionally, to analysis your building professionally. Along with that, the structure engineering part, where gonna be the column be like, the beam be like, all the calculation gonna be. So this kind of a structured drawing and the construction design drawings also you can make very easily here. So when we doing any kind of a things, changing it, like of course, as I give you the example, then for one project, if we are using a different kind of a software altogether, and being a professional, I can tell you one thing: when your any problem happens on the site, because there is a bunch of professional are working together, they're going to be an architect, engineer, contractor, client, everybody are there, and on the site is not 100% is come to know or happen whatever you have designed so far. So maybe on the site something, some error came in and you need to change the design overall, or you need to make changes in your drawing. So what you have to do, you have to start from the AutoCAD where you have designed, then to the calculation, to the document, to the structure, everything you need to do the changes. And for that, you need to open a different set of drawing, different kind of software drawing in a different software, and then you need to change it one by one. But here in the Revit software, you can design the structure, your 3D, 2D, everything in the one and only file. So that Revit is allowed you to, make thing easier for you. And it's of course going to be saving you lots of time. Because as a professional, when we are working, so they're going to be bunch of course, people are working all together. And as we know, the AutoCAD only allowed you to work on a one file at a one time. So when I'm working on a one file name A, then another person cannot work on the same file until unless I can close the file and the domain was using, and as a different file, the same file he can open it. But there is no problem like this. On the same file, everybody can work togetherly, and all the filing is a link also togetherly very easily. So what is actually the Revit do here? So Revit actually, very basically, if we talk about, is starting from the design, of course, is do the every kind of architectural designing over here, is starting from how the conceptualizing the all the kind of land, how it's going to be look like, how it's going to be designed, like where is a room, where is a kitchen, where is a multiplex, everything you can analyze and design, of course, here. Along with that, the interior part of it, maybe the exterior part of it, the lighting, a whole kind of a designing perspective you can generate here very easily in the Revit. Along with that, there is a collaboration. Now, what is collaboration? As I give you an example, that for one project, there is everybody who is working into it. They're going to be electrician, contractor, civil engineer, structure engineer, architect. So when there is a different kind of a people are working together, and there is a type of the discussion they're having for a one project or a design evolution they wanted to having, so the Revit allowed you to do that collaboration on your own file. So as an architect, if I am working on a one file, as an engineer you are working on the same file at the same time on a different location also very easily. So on the one file everybody can came in, you can all do your work. As an architect I'm doing a work, as an engineer you doing the work, and then interior designer came in, they also started working on the file, on the same file. Then the electrical person came in and they also work on the same file. Same as well for the HVAC person. So for any mean of a time there is any going to be changes on the site, so that changes happen by the civil engineer, so it's going to be updated to the everybody's file as well. So it's very very efficient, is going to be decrease your time, your decrease your any kind of collaboration mistake, any kind of error in the file, and of course there is a chances of miscommunication also, any kind of a clashes also you have reduces by this collaboration things over here. And lastly, the visualization, which is very important for any project. Visualization is to how to see, how to imagine the thing or a place or a design going to be look like after it's built in. So as an engineers we understand what is design and how it's going to be look like, but especially for the client who don't know how this land going to be look like after it's built in, after the interiors, after the elevation. So visualization is a very important tool for understanding for the professionals and as well as for the client, to make them understand this is how your room gonna be look like, this is how your building gonna be look like. So that 3D visualization is easily create on this Revit software. Now any software can be worked in a very different type of layer and the element as well, and that layering and elements are different as compared to the Revit works in. So Revit work in a different type of elements here. So Revit categorize in the different type of modules or elements. And what are that category? Let me give you a simple example with the category column. So what is category actually? Category is any building elements, can be maybe doors, windows, beam, column, footing, anything. So the category is any element of a building that is a coming into the consideration. Then after the category there is a family came in. And what is family is? Family is a differentiation of the column. So for an example, you having selected the category of a column, and then the column having a different type of column is just not column having maybe the concrete column, maybe it's a round column, square or rectangle, different type of and shape of, and the materialistic way of different type of material also is having in the family option here. And then in the materialistic way also, if you wanna go in the deeper part, then you have a type also, which means you have a different type of sizes of a column as well to use. And these all are actually built in your software already. So whenever you are using the Revit software, there is a very vast library in your system installed, where you have a different type of doors, column, furnitures, beams, everything for you to help out in the model whichever you are making it. So there's a very vast library which I'm going to be sharing with you also whenever we are starting with the software. So there is a very vast library which is already built in, but that is not compulsory that you just need to use them also only. Like there is a type is 18 by 18 inches over here, but I wanted to make my column by 9 inches by 18 inches, then that is also is very easy for you to create it. So you can use the already which is built in library, and you can also make a modification into it and use it as well, and you can create your own library as well. So there is a very saving of your time, efficiency of your project came when there is a list of hierarchy of element you have in your software.
Hello, ma'am. Actually, your voice is not audible.
Yeah, I have muted that because the screen was not shared. I'm sharing it again.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Now it's audible, everyone. Now it's audible. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you for your patience, guys. So when we are talking about the functionality, how the Revit software is work, but now there is a functionality of the workability of a process of any kind of a project also. So initially, like till now, we are working in a very traditional method of designing and planning of any building or any kind of a building, starting from the residence to the multiplex to the airport. So what we do whenever we have any kind of a land, we started planning that out. Okay, this is going to be a plan for the ground floor, for the first floor, and this is how it's going to be evaluate. Okay, so we started with the plan and then we create a model. For that, the 3D will be like this, building gonna be look like this. And on the basis of the model, we started making the sections, elevations, and some kind of any kind of schedules if you want. But now whole concept has been changed when the BIM is introduced to us. So when the BIM introduced, it's not only making your life easy by creating a software for you, but of course is open up your mind of thinking overall. So here you don't just need to make a plans, you started with the model, whatever you visualize, whatever you think, whatever you design, your creative idea, so you started by building that model into it. And then on the basis of that, simultaneously only doing the plan, elevation, section, schedule, everything on the basis of that. So you are just not concentrating on the one content which is just a plan or elevation. You are conceptualizing whole building together, and simultaneously you worked on plans as well, elevation as well, and section and everything together. So it's going to be a very open up mind for you as a designer, as an engineer. So when any one have opened up the software starting from 2011 to 2020 is also introduced now. So any software when you have open up, so this kind of a screen come up on your system, and it's showing you different kind of parameter here, starting from the properties, project browser, the screen where you work, and so many of the options. We go into it, but in the later on section. Before we go into that section, there is a word came like BIM. So nowadays, growing number of the engineers, architects are saying the word using BIM. But the question is why? So BIM is a building information modeling system, or I would say it is an intelligent model based process that connect AEC professionals so that they can be more efficient in design, they can be more efficient in build, operate, and of course the IT infrastructure as well as a BIM. So with the BIM, you are not only creating efficient designing while you are creating it, but also it's make you easy for the future perspective. How? Let's see into it. So with the BIM designer, create a digital 3D model. So this is also a 3D model, but the digital model of 3D also is create, and it's going to be easy for you to calculate any kind of analysis and what kind of it is here. So for an example, in this image, there is a 3D perspective building is here, and then there is a different kind of a schedule analysis is happening. So maybe for an example, there is a schedule analysis of the doors and window, how much of the light coming in and then how much is going out, how much of the light is containing, and what different type of graphs analysis also they can be doing by this. The 3D model, digital 3D model, which we are talking about, so it's kind of a different kind of a modeling unit, starting from a different type of MEC model, which we have talked about, mechanical, electrical, and the plumbing drawings. So you can not just work on the plan level, but actually you can see this digital model happening. By this, you can analyze, okay, so these are blue lines are my plumbing lines over here. So the plumbing drawing is going to be looking and the going something like this. So the overall pictures before it's going to be built or installed on the site, you can analysis very easily, or the plumbing guy can design very easily. Okay, this is the my building and this is how the whole the plan of the plumbing gonna be look like. If there is a HVAC people came in, so he can also analyze that how the HVAC thing can be happen into this design element very easily. Wherever the lighting component, how the pipeline is going, it is not conflicting with the water pipeline, it is not going to be conflicting with the electric line, and how everything going to be going throughout the HVAC in the building. Same thing can be doing for the firefighting system. Same can be analysis for the different kind of structure system, that how my building is throughout going to be look like, or analysis with the collaboration of each and every person who is working on it. As I have already talked about that we worked here with the collaboration of people, but the software not only the work with the collaboration of people, but also with the collaboration of the file as well. So as we have BIM changed the priority of working, we are working simultaneously or something, maybe on the 3D if I am working, or at the same time the planning and everything also started making it at the same time. And how, let me show you that. So this is the one project which I'm working nowadays, and here I have changes only the one door in my schedule. The size of the door I have changed from, which is 2.5 feet, I have changed it with the 4 feet, and I have increases the size in the width of it. At the simultaneously, you can see when I'm changing the schedule, the same time the in the elevation it was changing, in the perspective view also it is changing at the same time. So it is not compulsory for you to just to change in one and then everything is going to be changed. You can change in any file. If you change something in elevation, that is also change in plan sections in your schedule everywhere. So it's very easy to do the changes as comparatively, while we are working on so many of the software and then changing one by one, by taking a lots and lots of time incorporating into it. As we are taking an analysis part of a BIM here. So for an example, I have put in you, there is a one graphical image of a lighting. So there is some colors you can see here. The same building you can see here with the white, and then there is some colors of a structure here, and some of the red, yellow, blue, green colors are also here. So here we are analyzing actually the lighting, and on the basis of the lighting, how there is an energy consumption gonna happen actually for the building in the future. So for that, we are analyzing that how much the lighting is coming in. So we can see here, wherever there is a major red portion are there, if that portion of the building is getting a more light in the daytime, and the initial, when we can see in the down part, there is no colors are defecting is, and very less on the fourth or fifth floor is starting seeing to you. So that is analysis gonna be showing you that this is how your HVAC gonna work, your AC installation gonna work, and then on the basis of that, the energy consumption is there. So of course, for the lower ground, there is energy consumption is less, and for the upper is gonna be or more. And it's just a simple example for you to get the analysis information. But then for the multiplex, for the different type and shape of the building, you can do the same thing. At the same time, when it comes to the structural part of your building, then before the building gonna be start, you can analyze all your structure part, how it's going to be built and how it's going to be look like. So starting from the ground, if the ground floor portion column you can see and the beams, and on the basis of that you can introduce, like, after the fifth floor we can reduce the column size maybe, and after the seventh floor we can reduce maybe the number of the bars, or on the fifth floor, on the topmost floor we can reduce the size, the shape of the column as well, and plus the RCC, whatever we are using, the bar numbers also. So these kind of analysis you come to know whenever this kind of analysis is happen in the BIM software. Next up, as we talk about the visualization. So visualization, of course, is very important for people to understand, of course, the client to understand that this is how my for an example office going to be look like. This is going to be entrance, this is going to be a couch, this a waiting area, maybe how the section window going to be, how there is a some kind of a blocks we are using, there's a glass, there's lighting. So everything you definitely convey the message, convey the image, your imagination to the client for the, so that they can believe you, so that they can apply you that okay, this is how we're going to be working, this is how it's going to be looking like. So it's beneficial for us to get the project as well. Along with showing the so many of the complexity of the of the software and BIM also going to be helping you to retain the model intelligence. As I talk to you and I inform to you intelligence and intelligent model unit. So what intelligent method is the BIM giving to you? So nowadays, maybe few of you have heard about the sustainability word, and people now aware about that sustainability, and people are using the term not only as a using as a term, but of also to make a building as a sustainable unit. So for containing the sustainable unit of your building you're designing, we do so many of the intelligence system into our building. And of course for the bigger picture, bigger scale we do. And maybe you have heard about the automation. So kind of automation is link up with maybe your Alexa, your mobile and system, so that you can automatically handle your lights, handle your waters, handle your all kind of services very easily when the automation came in. So that you can save your energy, of course, your sustain your energy, of course. Then you minimize the change and order also. If you minimize the order of frequency, you minimize the light number of lights on the basis of that, because you are analyzing the whole building with the intelligence manner, with the automation manner, so that you can reduce on maybe on the HVAC, maybe on the number of SE you install, number of lighting you install. So all the automation run into it is simplify your life as well as sustain your electricity as well. Of course, it's minimize the change of order, it's reduce the coordination issues as well. Because when the something is building on the ground, of people are involving and there's going to be a discussion, there's going to be a different type of views. But on paper or on a drawing, if something is there, then it's kind of a clashes is reduces, some kind of a collaboration or coordination issues, of course, reduces them. Along with that, you can also prepare a documentation. As we are doing door window schedule, we can create any kind of a documentation, calculation, we can create a estimation, different type of document also you can create very easily for the future perspective and for the drawing perspective also when the drawing is building on the surface. When the BIM and Revit working for the building while it is constructing, before it is constructing, and of course it is also working for the future perspective as well. For the future operation and maintenance, we talk about a few aspects here. That is predictive maintenance, some kind of prediction we can do for the building, like the life cycle of the building. Maybe this building is a 20-year-old, and on what basis you can say about it. So this analysis of a future perspective is going to be helping you that when the building required a renovation, maybe when the building required changing of fire system, maybe. So for the, especially for the government project and especially for the government service buildings like hospitals and some bigger business offices where we need to look after the building wherever it is required from. So we have the idea of its life cycle is 20 years. So after 20 years, we need renovation. After 25 years, we need maybe the electrical replacement of the piping and something like that. So this futuristic prediction of maintenance also you can do very easily when there is a BIM is in your hand. Some kind of asset tracking as well. So you have if you have automation and you have a asset is with respect to some kind of furniture lighting, and you are working as an in a public sector, maybe the public service sector, so you can have accounting, you can have a materialistic way that how many units are there, and you can have that asset tracking as well, that there initially there was 50, now is 48, where is 2. So this kind of a materialistic asset tracking also you can do very easily, and accordingly the facilities management is easy for you to think of. So the BIM is of course a very good unit to look upon, as well as here I'm sharing with you there is a one video which is whatever we have talked about till now is going to be sharing with you in respect to what is BIM.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, there is no voice in the video.
I hope the video is convey you all the things whatever we have discussed. So for sum up everything, I would say the Revit is a software when or where you can change any project into the realistic visualization, is retain model intelligence from the concept to the till the construction whatever you are building in, and deliver the project more efficient way on time, of course, by the saving a time, design a better building need and a powerful solutions through the BIM. So that's it from my side. If there is any questions, doubt, any information you wanted to take on the software, on the course, or anything, you can ask me.
Thank you, ma'am. So everyone, you all can ask your doubts in the chat box. You all can write your questions in the chat box and your expert will answer that. Also, I have shared one registration link for the course. Like the course price is 1999. And if you do the registration, you will get a discount of rupees 500. And this offer is valid only till tomorrow 12 p.m. So those who want to enroll for the course, you all can go through that registration link and avail the discount. Also, I have shared the certification link also for to or everyone. You all can like fill that link for certification generation. See the questions in the chat box and answer them. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a first question. I can read a course में architecture and structure दोनों cover होगा या only structure? Okay, so in this course section, we are going to be taking the architecture, civil, structure, everything all together. And how it's going to be working, we're going to be taking the whole course into the 3 segment. So we start with the beginning like a user interface. After that, we're going to be creating the structure of the building. Then we enhance the architecture of it by creating an interior, by elevations and everything. And then the building element with the huge velocity of the tracks, like by how we can make walk through over here, how we can make a render images, the night view and everything here. So the 3 segment are having a 4 different project in the whole session here. Next up, I can read the question. Could you provide the PPT us through the mail or okay? We have discussion in the video. Although this presentation is the session is actually recorded. So if you want, maybe you can see that recorded session, but the PPT is of course the saved with us. Next up is what the course lecture time every day. Okay, that is a functionality model. The Protrainy will guide you for that, the timing and everything. So will it be possible to cover the software within 30 days? Okay. It's a very good question actually. If we are taking, I have designed actually, if we are taking 3 segment courses and if we are planning for the 4 different building to cover up in the whole segment, then it will gonna be taking us around 55 to 60 hours. And that we can cover up maybe a day, 2 hours a day, or maybe a 1 hour and the 2 months. So it's depending upon that. In my course schedule, it's the course gonna be like 55 to 60 hours, the full course. So on the basis of timing, we can decide, we can decrease the month by increasing the hours, or maybe we can increase month by decreasing the hours. It depends. Okay, next up is this the inclusive Revit quantity survey. I'm not understanding this question. Is this the inclusive Revit quantity survey? It's can you please rewrite it? Screen is off. Of course, the screen is off. We are just talking here. The Q&A session is going on. Any question or doubt if you are having, you can ask here. Is there any live project going on? Of course, as I'm an architect and working on the field, and I will love to do sharing of my project. So while we are working on something, I will gonna be sharing maybe the project images, the 3D views, whatever we have creating on the same project, or maybe for the for you also, for any kind of learning, I can share you my project as well to build the same way the professional on ground thing for you to work on. And it is going to be very interesting for you because it is not going to be a one way session, of course. Only I'm speaking here and then you are just listening. That is not going to be possible. It is going to be a two-way session, of course. So whatever, while I'm teaching you also, if you guys having any doubt, at the same time you can unmute yourself and you can ask me at the same time, and we can clear that doubt on the same page. Whatever I am giving you for the future, also for the day after tomorrow, for the next day also, if you guys having any doubt for that as well, you can come up with the question. We clear the doubt and then we move to the next topic in all the session. Ma'am, Revit and Beam is the same software or a different software? It's okay. The software is introduced is a Revit only. Revit having an option of working in a BIM form, which is kind of electrical line, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, all the things are incorporated in the Revit software only. We giving the name as a BIM to it, but the software is only the one which is the Revit software. Next question is, will you tell us per geos deeply what is GOS? Please describe that first, Kavya. And qualification of the building estimation. Okay, so you can, of course, this is a very important term which is came into the question is the qualification. It's a kind of a estimation, I would say. The quantity analysis or maybe the estimation, you can work very easily in this software, because whatever you are designing, you are making with the real model unit. You are not creating a line and then creating into the 3D, then hatching it out. You are just using the wall only to create the wall. So whatever the square feet of the wall is there, you can just calculate by giving the rate of it. What, how many number of the windows you are using. So you just give the estimated cost and your estimation is done. So all the kind of real model unit, because we are using, so it's very easy for us to create the estimation on ground, or roughly the estimation for the client and for us to understand. Okay, next up, what is the main difference between AutoCAD software and the Revit? Okay, very interesting. We have started the presentation with that only. So Autodesk is actually a 2D software when it comes to the AutoCAD. Of course, it's having the features of 3D and 2D, but it's having it works in a vector form, which means a line. There are just a dumb line by which we need to create something. But here in the Revit, we work as a professionally. So we have actual material what we use as a professional while we are creating any building or designing anything. Like wall is wall, footing is footing, door window is door window only. You don't need to create by lines, square, rectangle. No need to do it by this. And it's very efficient working by saving your time, because you create here perspective views, renders, estimations, schedules, elevation, 3D, everything in the same software. So it's easy for you to understand or create something in here. Next up is, are people adopting BIM on construction sites in India? Of course, in our major metro cities, we are adopting on it. I am working on the projects with the BIM, and in so many of the states, so many of the cities. So of course, India is introductory with the BIM, and in the future is in here with the BIM only. Is the recorded session will be provided? Okay. Yeah, I guess the you can connect with the Protrainy team, and they will of course gonna be providing with any kind of link or a downloaded session to you. Do you provide Revit software? That is also concerned to the Protrainy. If they provide you, then of course, because I'm just here to teach you. As per government rules, Kavya, what he is about to ask, let me see. Okay, will you tell us the government rule deeply? Okay, actually the government work in a very different manner in a different state actually. Because I am working remotely in India, so wherever maybe I can talk about some rules of Bangalore, Delhi, Rajasthan, uh, mm, So kind of some remote location, if you want any specific government rules or any government organization having something, we can talk about it. And that organization and something rules actually came into this. There's a book names is bylaws, which is each time whenever the master planning is done for the any city, there is a there is also the bylaws book came in, and then on the bylaws you have all the type of detail in the government rules and regulation. So for any particular city, if you want, of course you can ask me for. If I know, I'll gonna tell you, and if not, then we'll refer to the government bylaws book as well. What about LODs? How many LODs will be covered in courses? And what are the LODs? Please describe that. Okay, Bhaskar, not able to hear anything. Maybe you only having this problem. Check your connection, something. Everybody is able to. Will you tell us about? Will you tell about? Okay, the plugins like Escape, Vire in this. Okay, so in this Revit software, you don't need to have any kind of plugins. Of course, SketchUp have their own plugin. Then your 3ds Max as a plugin, you have V-Ray, but Revit software is a whole is a very big and a heavy software. Your library, your 3D model unit, your any type of functional, everything is inside there only. You don't need to add any plugins here. So this is a very good news to all of you. Next up, ma'am, I'm from Sri Lanka. Shall you give the time of course and duration, and could we get the software? Okay, so I'll request to the protech member to please answer the question regarding the duration of the course and the software are you going to be giving to the student or not. So I'm holding this question to you. Is etabs also part of? No, etab is a very different software. It's not a part of a BIM. uh you can get a BIM software free by downloading it as a student version. The Revit software, you can directly make any ID on a Autodesk as a ID of a student, and by installing or uploading your ID card on it on the site, and then you can easily download a free Revit software as a student version. Okay. Screen is off. Of course, I'm not sharing Pawan any screen. We are just talking. Level of development. Okay. Level of development. No, we are not going to be taking any kind of level of development into this. Is a kind of a theoretical, I guess, and we are just concentrating on designing, implementing, construction kind of drawings and projects here. Among all available civil engineering application software, Revit along enough to master the need bearing planning software. Okay, so it's very important for you all to understand that there in the industry there are so many software for the one thing. For the 2D also you have so many, for the 3D also you have so many, and the Revit is one and only where you have all the kind of function in the one software. So you don't need to learn each and every software. From my perspective, you just need to be mastered in a one software for the 2D and one for the 3D. And if you want both in a one, then you just need to learn Revit so that you learn your 2D also and the 3D as well. So don't go for learning all the software. Please concentrate on whatever you are learning and keep practicing. This is only the way you master in any kind of a software. Okay, then Ma'am, I'm from Kenya. Tell us about time. Okay, trainee team, please, I'm requesting you to give the timing and everything detailed to the students. They are asking again and again. Mr. Khan is writing me, you don't know the LOD, then you don't know about the BIM. Okay, dear, then you who know better than me, then you can easily move ahead with that. Thank you, Dharmendra Yadav, for your you're welcome, dear. Of course, guys, I'll request to the coordinator who is doing that. I'll inform her to share your timing, schedule details, and of course the recording as well if you want.
Hello everyone. Your session timing will be 8 to 9 and 9 to 10. According to different topics, there will be two timings, that is 8 to 9 and 9 to 10. I hope I'm clear.
Okay, Pawan is writing Hindi. Okay, if there is anybody is not comfortable with English, we will talk in a Hindi as well. There is no problem. You're welcome, Manora. Okay, if there is any more, then you can ask. Okay, so now I guess only the query regarding the timing, the number, the lecture timing only, and the duration of the lecture. So the Protrainy team will reply you on that. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you everyone for your time and patience. See you in the next session if we collaborate together.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you everyone for joining the session. I hope that this session was knowledgeable and helpful for you. I have shared the link for certificate generation also. I request everyone to fill that link or fill that link also. And those who want to enroll for the course, I have also shared that registration link. So those who want to enroll for the course, do it fast and avail the discount of rupees 500. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Good night, people.